Hi, welcome to the Pursuit of Truth. Not going to be very long. Bit to do with the ones I did yesterday about the toothache. It was the worst day yesterday, but this morning I managed to sleep in my bed for the whole night, and I didn't feel the pain until I took the diclofenac. I noticed when I took the NSAID, like Nurofen or diclofenac, it actually pains more. Which is strange because it's meant to be reducing the swelling and a pain relief, but because I wasn't feeling the pain, but I took the diclofenac anyway just to make sure that, last time I didn't take it and it was painful, so I thought let me just take it till it finishes, and now I feel the pain a little bit, but maybe it was going to come anyway. But it's the longest period, so maybe it is a tooth infection and the antibiotics are starting to work. You see, some medicines have their benefit. You see a lot of people, truthers, will be anti-medicine, and I mean, is there, because I know the pharmaceutical companies and all that kind of stuff, and the cancer things and all that stuff that is maybe not as huge benefit as they make out. And obviously I believe that if we didn't have money and we all worked together as one being in the idea of having pharmaceutical companies that shared knowledge and there was no money and it was all done for human expanse and for human suffering, then we would come up with cures a lot better. But obviously there is such thing as medicine, even if you believe in holistic, with people who believe in different things, and they all have their merits, and a lot of those things, herbal remedies, are the basis of pharmaceutical medication. So they all have our place. But it's just knowing that when they're beneficial to you, whether it's to do with money, that's the thing. They can they make different cars, based on your income, what you can afford, and the most expensive, should be the better car than the cheaper one. Do they do that with medicine as well? And like with phones, where they know that they could make phones a lot better, but they keep it back, and every year they make little adjustments so that they can keep reselling the same thing, but with improvements. Whereas they probably found out that technology to do that, the few years in advance phone already, and they could have done that, but they didn't because they want to make more money. Do they do that with medicine as well? But the thing I wanted to talk about was this idea of a board game. I was thinking about how, like with the dentist that I go to, they can't do the drilling. It's all to do with money. It's all to do with only being able to do temporary things, and how the system, you have to follow the system no matter how it doesn't make sense. And when I was talking about poor people dying of diseases that we have cures for, and I don't know if I mentioned, that idea that a lot of the people that are dying of, say, starvation. Food is everywhere. There's enough food on this planet that can be produced for everyone. So there's no actual need for anyone to die of starvation. Newsflash. It's only because we've boxed ourselves into different countries and different governments and not helping each other out and having money. Then I was thinking about like a board game that actually shows that truth. I know you got things like Monopoly and Game of Life, but imagine when you play that and you think, what I wanted is a game that has, it's actually like real life. The real life game, it could be called. That would be the title of this, I guess. Where you have to roll the dice and it decides where you're born. So you can have like a rich country on the board, a poor country, middle country. Maybe you could have lots of different countries that have different values. The way that we, when you're born, you could be born in a poor country, you could be born in an affluent country, or in between, or whatever. And that's the basis of your life. And then when you go down the path, same as like when you got Game of Life, where you go down the college or the work life, you can have different paths where you go down. You have to go down that path, stuck on your country, and then maybe that make people realise how the suffering is going on. It's okay, I'm all right, Jack. Attitude that I don't need to worry. I'll give a little bit to charity. I'll watch charity events, have a laugh, and give some charity to poor people, or do whatever. But that's a band-aid solution. Who raise your hand if you think a band-aid solution is better than a root solution? No one is going to say that. If your house is flooding, and they're going to give you one sandbag. Are you going to accept that? No, you're not. You're going to want the problem sorted, the river sorted, or your house lifted, or whatever. Yeah. So why should the rest of the world be any different? Why should people who only have one existence, one chance of life, have any different? So there needs to be a ball game like this where you're going down that line, and even on the rich line, you go down difficulties. Maybe you can go into each other's lines based on, because that can happen. Poor people can become rich people, and rich people can become poor people. An option where you lose your child or you lose your loved one because of shortage of money, because you couldn't afford some medication, or because your country can't afford it. You know, you get lots of these things where even in affluent countries, where different affluence based countries have different things, you know, like some machinery or medicines they can't afford in this country, or they can afford somewhere else, and your child may live or die, or parent or whoever, loved one, other human being, will live or die based on whether they can afford it or not. So I want a game that has all those things, these all unfair, unequal things of life that we all accept. We all accept them, and we all think it's fine until it happens to us, and then we realise shit, and then we start having charities, and we start thinking, well, no, this can't be right, let's set a new law to stop this happening, like you see. But these things are happening all the time, and it shouldn't be only when you influence them, you know, that you feel the need to change. Change needs to happen for these people that are suffering, all the people that are suffering around the world, that don't need to suffer, because we have enough food, we have enough medication, we have enough places for people to live, we have enough people to make things so that everyone can have everything that they possibly would need. You know, everyone can have a nice house. Why you need a C house or a D house or an E house or an F house? Why would you build things that some are better than others so that you can sell them at different prices? How stupid is that? This is our lives we're talking about, not a fucking game. And this is why I want to make this game, so that people see this and they see the hardships and they see the suffering, and then they realise, wait a minute, I won't want to play this game. You know? And you think, oh, I don't want to play this game, like the same when you're losing at Monopoly. Oh, I don't want to play this game. Thank goodness I'm not in debt and have to pay all these taxes for these houses. And then when they play this game and they realise, and then they see all this, and their children die, it's a game, yeah, it's not going to be a very popular game, it's not going to be a very happy game, because people will die in it of things like people die in the real world, of things where there is cures for them, there is solutions for them already if we shared everything, we didn't have money. And then when they play this game, they realise all this, and then when they put the game down, maybe they suddenly think, oh yeah, this is the game of life we're playing in reality. Why are we playing this? Why can't we just rip up the rules and change them and do things without money and do things that are the proper and right way? Anyway, if anyone can design this game, then let's make this together and work on it. I don't want to make money out of it. I just want to, or just maybe it's easier just to share this video. Maybe we don't actually have to make the game. We can just share this video, and then people can understand that. But I think maybe we do have to make the game, because that's unfortunately how people realise things, you know. So maybe we do have to make the game. I don't know how that's going to happen. Someone rich or someone with influence or interest in this needs to help me make this game, or make this game and then get it out there. And I suppose it will have to be, unfortunately, again, it'll have to be some money, because they won't be able to make it without any money, unless they've got billions of dollars, and then they can make it without charging any money. Or maybe it can be an interactive app. That's probably better. An app on a phone. That doesn't have to be, that can be free. It doesn't have to have advertisement, because we're not interested in making money. It can be an app on the phone, a new game like Monopoly, a Game of Life, called, I can't remember what I said, Real Game of Life, I don't remember, I have to think of a name. Put it out there, people play it on their phone, and hopefully then they realise that, wait a minute, I'm lucky, but wait a minute, if I'd rolled the dice differently, I would have been poor, and I would have died of something that that can be cured. Or you've gone through lots of sufferings throughout your path to get to the end of life, of your one existence. Maybe that's what could be called, one existence. Yeah, that's it. One existence, an app on a phone with this game, and then hopefully people will play it around the world and realise, oh, wait a minute, we're already playing this game. If you don't want to play it on your app, why would you want to play it in real life? Why would you want someone else to play it? Don't just think about yourself. Think about all the other people that are playing that game as well. They've got no choice because that's how our forefathers have made the rules up for us. Take care, take it easy, God bless, and peace.